Who let the spinning idiots in the mines? That would be.
They use us as drill bits. It's fine. We're cleared for this.
Hello, and welcome to the 60OF ShenaniCast. Myself, Descent Max, along with my new co-conspirator, the Fireball.
What up?
So I know this is a random thing that's randomly popped up after 3 years, and I know some folks like Roncli has been like, what happened? So we'll touch on that here in a minute. We are taking ShenaniCast in a different direction what the original concept was. So we're going to be talking pretty much anything 60OF related, Descent, Desecrators. That'd be a fun one to get into down the road. But the main thing we're going to discuss today, why ShenaniCast is coming back and what took so long. Our latest thing that we've done is Descent Raytracer. Fireball and I did a playthrough with that just recently, and what potentially coming next. We finished this time. Yes.
We finished this time.
Yes. What was it?
Get to the last level and then stop.
What was that? 4 years ago?
Yeah, it was a while back. Yeah, we started a run. We were doing it evening by evening, and I think we got up to level like 25 or something like that. We were up there, and then just never picked it back up again, and I'm glad we got it done this time. That was good to finish.
What else are you thinking on the agenda? What we got here?
Well, we got a couple other things with Raytracer. I know you've got some history of the project to discuss for those that aren't familiar with it. We got to kind of set our next plans. There's a few other things with the other 6DOF games as well, like you mentioned. Desecrators kind of fell off my radar. It'll be good to bring that back up again. But we've got Overload stuff with the OTL season, and then some D3 stuff as well to kind of bring up. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Ah, yes. Yeah, D3 has been kicking off a little bit here and there. I've been seeing. It's been really good to hear. But
solid badge for the Piccu port, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we'll mention
huge improvement.
Yeah, Sal Badger, especially through some of the stuff that we'll be mentioning, he's been a part of the things that we've been playing with and stuff like that as well.
On many fronts.
Yes. But, we can go ahead and get into our first one. Why it took so long. So, a lot of shenanigans occurred over the past 3 years. So,
say that again.
So the original concept was Durgan and I were going to do this together and go through and talk Overload, ShenaniCast, do all things Overload and everything like that. Well, we got as far as talking about the next episode. And that's where everything fell apart because of timing. I was at peak at my job at the time, so I was in management, so I was literally working 6 days a week, and which you probably remember that. And
you sort of just dropped off the grid for a while.
Yeah. And Durgan has also fallen off the map on Overload because he's gone on new adventures. Yeah, I think he said he's got his own YouTube thing going on and stuff with, I think it's Star Citizen and stuff.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of Star Citizen. I remember seeing some clips from a while back on that.
Yeah. So, okay, he's
having fun with it.
Yeah. I've been able to every once in a bit pop in and check it out and stuff like that on his streams that he does occasionally. But it's been glad to see him having a lot of fun and stuff like that. So things just never took off. Things just never pushed and everything. But it's been something I was like, it'd be kind of fun to still pick up when I can and stuff. And if I can find somebody to cast with. And who would have thought the other Unibrain, the other part of the Unibrain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no better combo.
Yeah, the two spinning idiots taking it on. You're welcome, Roncli. But so we decided, instead of solely focusing on Overload, Fireball and I do a lot of 60OF games, where there's Descent, Descent 2, Descent 3, Overload. For a while back, we did a co-op run of Desecrators with Josham, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think we had blown to bits on that as well. That was a lot of fun running through that, but it's been a while since we've gone back to it. It was just mentioned to return to it. Maybe we'll bring that up as we go. But yeah, lots of sick stuff. Plenty of options there these days, which is lovely. Although,
and plenty of options, especially. And we don't have this on the list, but one of the projects I do want to mention, Proxy One, is bringing his Inferno engine into the mix for Descent 1, later down the road Descent 2 potentially. It's single player only, but
it looks amazing.
It's awesome. He's completely built this engine from scratch pretty much, and it's a lot of cool gimmicks and everything like that. He changed a lot of the UI and everything where the robots are more aggressive. They're smarter than the original ones. Like some of them can actually dodge you now.
Probably a good improvement.
And the reactor explosions and everything, just a whole lot of stuff going on with that. But the main thing, the main other option that we brought up, Descent Raytracer. Now, this is one I did not think I would ever see. A ray-traced Descent. When you first think of that, you're like, okay, that'd be kind of cool, but how well would that actually work? Because
it seems like an odd place to kind of put the effort in until you see the result, and you go, oh, yeah, no, that was, that helped.
Yep. And so Descent Raytracer was actually built by a university. These group of college folks in this university. Was it Brendan University, I think it's called. They took the retro port and worked with it and got it working with adding ray tracing to it, and also added a 3D cockpit. Now, personally, the original 3D cockpit that's on there, not a huge fan, because the ship is like very flat and skinny. The model is, but I could see where the concept is really neat to see. But they came out with that as a project. The team isn't releasing any more updates, but they have opened it up. They've got the main code and everything on GitHub. Folks like, of course, the legendary Arn, and also Liam 2001. He's also pulled into a lot of that, where he's been working with a lot of bug fixes and stuff with it as well. But he also, we saw this with our playthrough, a complete revamp of the textures.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's lovely in that the texture remap in particular. I mean, this is something we talked about when we were actually playing it through on stream as well. But it's always struck me when you do like a retro, like a revisit of a game or like a remaster, but it's still in the retro style. The ones that have always landed the best, at least on my end, are the ones that look like my memories. Mm-hmm. Right? They look like how I remember it looking, not how it actually looked, because oftentimes it doesn't translate super well. And this nailed that, where it's like clearly it looks better, but it also looks like what my memories of that would be. The rock looks like rock. The lava glows aggressive, like you fear it because of how it looks, right? Like there's so many things in it
Yeah,
They feel correct. They don't feel like, whoa, eye candy. They just look like, oh, there's a laser coming my way and the whole hallway's glowing. Like, it just looks,
yeah.
It feels natural. It feels correct. It feels like it belongs.
Yeah,
Very well.
He's done amazing work with it.
Mm-hmm.
The version that the fork that we used was Arn's version, because Arn's version allowed HD, a lot of the HD fonts, and also custom gauges for the ship and stuff. Because Salad Badger, also Insanity Bringer on his GitHub, Salad Badger made a pyro model with the 3D cockpit to go into the game. And he mirrored it closely, like the art style, like the color font, the color scheme and everything, to mirror the D1 versus the D2 color, like how the HD D2, the HD D2 is more of a darker gray versus the lighter gray.
Yeah.
That's why that one's in that texture. But also worked with Yoshi Mitsu. Yoshi took the 3D model that he has of the cinematic files and made an HD on the pyro gauge in the center of the cockpit and stuff like that. He made a new version of that is accurate, and also by hand made new shields.
That's right, the pixel art on the shields. Yes.
Yeah, and the invuln indicator. My gosh,
sparkles,
the sparkle. He did those by hand, frame
it looks
by
incredible,
frame. Yeah.
And the same thing there. It looks like it belongs. It looks like what it's supposed to, but clearly a massive improvement in fidelity over top of what it was before.
Yes.
You did a really good job with that. Same thing with the cockpit model. Like,
yeah,
that's an interesting one, because there's definitely a compromise between what you see on the outside of the pyro versus on the inside of the pyro, and I think this is the only version of D1 in particular that I've flown with the cockpit on, where it doesn't feel like it's in the way, where it feels like it's supposed to be there, right? Like,
what's nice about this port to Raytracer, also the ray tracing, of course. Arn's version is the only one right now that supports multiplayer. Liam's does not, and the original Raytracer does not. Arn also just recently pushed out a update to allow HD sound, higher sampling
yes,
sounds.
That's right. I remember you sent me that version just recently.
Yeah.
That was what we played in the last couple of levels.
Yep.
That was nice.
So we've got that. And Arn added that did a lot of more bug fixes and stuff like that. That's present in the original version. Like, if you have the traditional cockpit on, if you press the rearview mirror, if you press the rearview mirror, the camera is off angled, so you're pointing down at the ground. So he fixed that's present in the original, but he fixed that. He recentered it. The cloak and invuln indicators in the 3D cockpit are broke in the original. He fixed those in his. Yeah, so he's fixed that in his fork. Just a bunch of other stuff. And a funny one. The Mac data files. If you want to run the Mac data files with the original, do not turn on the cockpit.
What happens?
It looks like it is distorted, like you took a magnet to something. Yeah, it literally looks like it's like missing like multiples of the cockpit and everything.
There might be an Andy in this version or something. Some weird thing with the original bitmaps.
Yeah, but Arn fixed that in his fork as well. But
curious to know exactly what that was. That sounds like a wild one.
Yeah, I actually have a photo of it somewhere. I'll have to see if I can find it because I uploaded it in the Raytracer Discord. There is a Discord for Raytracer. So if you, I'll try and link that in the video, in the description, of course, whatever I put on YouTube. But yeah, just Arn has also been. He also did a Descent 2 version of Raytraced. Still early in development. There's still some bugs to work out, but it is playable. He's now the one I've got uploaded in my server is my install because it's got, again, Salabadger made a new pyro model to go for Inferno. Arn brought it over to Raytracer D2. And it looks so good in Raytracer.
It does. It captures the aesthetic so nicely, and it actually looks like what we know the pyro to look like. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That is potentially going to be the next project that Fireball and I'll fly through soon. TM
for D2. Yeah.
Trying to decide where we want to do the D2 Counter Strike, or if we want to say screw it and go with the Descent Maximum playset.
Yes, do both.
Okay. Both. Why not both?
Both. Why not both? Both is good.
Yeah.
I look forward to either. That'll be fun.
Yeah, there is an issue that both projects actually have, but the D2 version actually sees it more. The blackout areas. There are sections of overlapping.
Overlaps, yeah.
There's sections of overlapping parts of the level where in the original game you don't see, but in Raytracer it actually shows those. So it shows up as black. But if you fly into it, you can actually see texture on the other side of the blackness, which is the other room that it's connecting to.
Well, and that must be just switching rendering modes, because I know like the Descent original code was ingenious in that it was able to do this portal-based rendering thing, where basically you had these segments defined, and it was very much determined based on where your viewpoint was. So you were able to build these levels, which I'm sure wasn't done on purpose, where you had this impossible geometry that would overlap with itself. Yeah. And I know this was exploited later on. It's a little bit off topic, but I know we had a whole section of some of the D3 multiplayer stuff where we focused on possible maps, where you'd have a level that you'd be able to lap yourself like 4 times over, going over the same spot, but you would never return back to your original until you went through it 4 times. It's like 4-dimensional geometry maps where the segments are stacked on top of each other, but you can't see it because of how it renders. Black Shark's got really interesting with that.
Oh. All right.
More on that later.
But Arn started that sometime last year, the D2 version. Right now he's it's on version 0.0.25, if that says anything. But for a very early, I've been working with it since 0.0.1. I've been reporting bugs to him, getting it playable, getting it stable, and stuff like that, to where you can play through the whole campaign without any crashes. Which is awesome.
Have you tried it co-op or single player?
Played through completely single player, but Yoshi, Josham, and myself, I know you hopped in on a few of them.
Was that Raytracer or was that I can't remember which one we were using at the time.
It was Raytracer. It was one of the it was one of the earlier ones, because you were having, because Yoshi was having issues with the auto map, where his he would just barely bump the joysticks and it would spin out of control.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah, Arn has,
we had a couple of issues crop up with that, I remember.
Yeah, Arn's fixed that, it seems.
Is this the run through where the reactor didn't blow on my end the one time? Or was
I
it a
think
different run?
so.
Can't
I think so.
Where you guys all evacuated the level and I'm sitting
Yeah.
there and the thing hasn't gone off
I
yet.
forgot about that.
What's
Yeah,
happening here?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. One thing to check in, I know this has been fixed in some of the code bases, but not all of them. I'm curious to see, because Arn is amazing, whether or not some of the drop, what was it, the weapon power-up entity limits. I know that was an issue in D2 at one point. It came up with co-op
Yeah.
because we had everything duplicated, and then we started like we couldn't fire. 'cause too many
Yeah,
entities in
yeah,
play.
we had things duplicated too many times. So
Yep. And there was a D2 thing, not a D1 thing, because you didn't have that many entities in D1 to hit the limit yet. But
yeah,
be curious to see that. There's been a lot of quality of life stuff along the way as well. So that strikes me as something that he probably will have looked at some point.
yeah, I could ask him at some point. But it's a project that Arn has just worked on a little at a time as he's been able to go and stuff. There are, like I said, there are some nuances with D2, like the black spots are still there in some areas, but Liam 2001 has been working on a new way to fix those without the retraced ray, which is what he implemented originally.
That's right. Yes, there was an option for that.
Yeah. So the newer AMD graphics cards do not work with it. It crashes. For whatever reason, the 7000 series and the 9000 series, they do not like that retrace rays option.
Interesting.
So he has actually been working on, I think he said he worked on it all month last month. He's found a new way of implementing a visibility table for handling the overlapping segments and stuff like that. It doesn't fix all of them, but it fixes like 90-95% of them without the performance hit, and they work with the new cards.
Good.
So I submitted that pull to Arn to see if he wanted to take a look at it, but I haven't heard from him because, life. But
yeah, things get busy.
Yes. But either way, he also took D2XXL. He took some of the like the Descent 2 textures, the original revamps. He took those and ported them over to Raytracer, so we could fly with the D2XXL Raytracer files.
Right.
Also like the high res reticle for the cockpit and stuff like that, which I really like. But yeah, so I know we've kind of been all over the place with the ray tracer stuff and everything, but as far as flying through it, you mentioned it felt like memories as when we were younger, playing on the old games. And for me, I got my first time on the PlayStation. My dad played it on PC.
Yeah, that's right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, my dad played it on PC, and then I got intrigued on it, and then he got it from me for the PlayStation because he was overseas and he didn't want me on his computer because, 1, 2, 3-year-old, because shenanigans are bound to happen.
Yeah, back in the era before you had all these permission schemes to prevent certain accounts from being able to poke at certain things, and oops, I wiped the hard drive. Yes.
Yeah. So, but I thought the playthrough was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Was there any sections that as far as how it looked, everything? Was there any section oh, that looks really cool? Was there anything that stood out to you?
The lava bits in particular, like I said, because it feels it actually feels threatening. It's not just a lava pool, right? Yeah. I can't think of any particular sections that really stood out to me. In general, the whole thing, it felt really good.
Yeah.
It felt very much like I said, it felt retro in that, it brings back all the nostalgia of the actual game itself. But in that same kind of upscaled mental image that you'd have looking back, however long that was. Mm-hmm. I know I've had that before with certain remasters where you go back and you play them again, and it doesn't it doesn't feel like it's the same fidelity, or like you switch the mode back and you go, oh, this is like
Yeah.
this is what this looks like. Really, this looks awful. Right?
It doesn't scratch that nostalgia that you've got in your head and everything.
This one hits it right, and I mean, even with things like the lighting effects in particular, the lighting really got. I mean, it's ray tracing. It's kind of all lighting, but right, like weapon lighting effects really stood out to me. Any particular things with like glow in the level really stood out to me. The fact that the lights all like you could see that reflecting around inside the cockpit, that really was a nice touch.
Yeah, what I remember seeing when I first saw like the glare rolling across the monitors in the cockpit and all that stuff.
Yeah, as you move and you see the shadow of the two what do you call it? The braces and the thing kind of like, oh, that's
yes. I remember seeing I was like, whoa. One thing I do hope Arn is able to fix at some point in D2, the monitors in the 3D cockpit, missile view, rear view view,
and then flip over to
and like player view and co-op mode and stuff like that.
Right.
The monitors don't work in 3D cockpit right now. It works in the traditional, but not in the 3D cockpit right now.
Right. Well, that's probably just how they're laid in. I don't know enough about how things are rendered in to say specifically, but yeah, like you'd have that it'd be doable, but it would take some work. It wouldn't just be as simple as
he did
elements, right?
Yeah, he did say, he goes, it definitely looks like it'll be tricky to work with and stuff like that. But hopefully he can get that fixed at some point. But again, he's only got a little bit of time. I'm not going to push him on that.
Well, of all the things to work on too, that's not necessarily the highest thing on priority list. If it's a matter of like getting something working versus getting this pretty little graphical effect, no, so you gotta get the functionality in.
Yep. Yeah, he's.
I think in terms of like, go ahead.
Yeah, he's done a lot, especially for both projects. Redux, the man doesn't stop.
Well, that's the thing. Arn is fantastic for that. In that, like, I don't think I've ever interacted with him directly outside of like seeing a message fly by here or there. I don't think I've ever seen him fly. I've certainly never seen him in multiplayer, but he's had his fingers in pretty much everything sixed off that.
Yeah.
Since for the last how long?
Arn is the reason why we have OL mod. He's
OL mod was his stuff. The D1 Raytracer stuff. A lot of the early Redux code, I think, was. I might be wrong on that front, but
yeah, Redux.
Like he's had his fingers in everything.
I'm pretty sure he's had his hand in the very first D1X. D1X
like way back.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was involved in that at some point, but could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure I saw his name floating around in those early days as well.
Yep.
But
he's not super vocal. He just kind of hovers in the background and just does magic, and then here, have some magic. Right?
Yeah.
It's really cool to see.
He's also been tinkering with the D2X XL, trying to get it stable somewhat.
Right.
So he's got several forks on that as well. But these forks that we're mentioning, like D1 Raytracer, D2 Raytracer, and those two especially, I'll be sure to put links to those projects in the description, of course. So that way if folks want to check them out, they have the ability to do so. But
For sure.
Some of the funny things that come to mind for me, the exit sequences.
Oh yes,
sorry,
yeah, it's a mind in my head here.
When we were having so in the game, it's supposed to show your POV of you flying through the exit. But
just the one ship, yeah.
Just the one ship, but there's sometimes we've had it to where like myself or him will be like sideways, just flying.
You see the one ship coming out like it's supposed to, and the other one like coming up, drifting backwards out through just behind, clipping through the wall.
So Arn actually sent me. I don't remember if I sent you the video or not, the little clip, but he actually was working on a prototype of actually getting that to work, to where it actually shows
so that it's proper where they both
so
fly.
It shows both, like one
That's
in front
cool.
of the other and stuff. He's like, it's buggy and not ready to use, but I was like, this dude, I swear, he doesn't stop.
Here, have a fix. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, but yeah, it was. I sent him a couple of our clips and stuff like that, and he got a kick out of seeing them and stuff like that. But it's really cool to see just seeing how these games have really just blown up as of recently. Like
for sure.
Excuse me. Descent Raytracer, Descent 2 Raytracer, Descent 3.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that out of nowhere we get the Descent 3 code published.
That's wild.
And
My
then,
goodness. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And
I got on the day one for that.
And then we've got Salad Badger again with his Piccu engine. You've flown through this a little bit more often than I have. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
Sure. I was just gonna say there's some quality of life stuff on the ray tracer stuff that really spoke to me. But yeah, let's focus in on Piccu and all of the massive quality of life stuff that happened with that.
Mm-hmm.
So Salad Badger originally had released some really creative fixes for the D3 1.4 code. Way back when D3 had been patched up to 1.4 on the Mac, 1.4.1. That was kind of the last official version of it. They'd started working on the 1.5 patch, which was available in beta format. Some things were fixed, some things got worse. That was semi-made available, and then things sort of fell apart on the D3 side, and that was where things sat for the longest time. So if you wanted to play it in any way, shape, or form, you pretty much were using 1.4 or one of the mods thereof, or you were biting the bullet on some of the stuff that was broken and playing on 1.5. Now, the problem was on modern Windows, there's a lot of issues with the way the mouse handling in particular worked.
Yeah.
Not just that. There's many other things on top of that, things with high resolution screens and whatever else, that once you got up of a certain size, things just stopped working.
Just looked
getting
off
anything in like widescreen.
Yeah.
Getting anything in widescreen was a real pain. The field of vision was also hard coded to a certain amount, and the problem was if you played in a widescreen format, everything looked super zoomed in and things like you couldn't really see what was going on. And in a modern at the time on a 4x3, you probably wouldn't notice because everything was kind of playing on quite a narrow field of vision. But when you're used to what you see in modern games, you come back into that and it looks like, you have a box like this big. You're trying to just look through a telephoto lens on it. It's like, I can't see what's going on. So Salad Badger originally wrote the D3 Inject mod, which is really similar. Yeah, it's similar in spirit to what we did with OL mod, where we're doing kind of this patch injection thing, except this is all compiled C++ code, so it's much more difficult to do correctly. Salad Badger, also being a wizard, figured out a way to do it anyways, and then wrote this code that injected a whole new mouse control stack and made the field of vision correctable and updated some of the stuff with graphics drivers and whatever, like how it was interacting with the graphics stack.
Mm-hmm.
And what else did he do? He swapped out an audio library, fixed some of the widescreen interactions. So you could actually, it's just this, like, it was still clunky, but it was much more playable.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this code dropped out of nowhere one day. I was just like, you know what? Sure, have the D3 code. And we went crazy on the back end. I remember just getting a ping of this all of a sudden out of nowhere. I think I was just scrolling through something on my phone, and all of a sudden it just pops up in a feed. It's like, what? Oh no! What? Ah! First
it's
thing
happening.
I did was clone the repo just in case this is a mistake. I'm getting this code now.
Yeah.
The second thing I did was at Salad Badger, just like, dude, the code's out. You got to get your hands on this stuff. So I think
he instantly started. He's like, I'm getting
it. Yeah, he grabbed it. He started porting over the things from the inject code into the actual code. Now that he didn't have to do it via this weird like back end injection nonsense, he could just write it in. He had a version released within a day or two, I think, if I remember correctly. He worked really fast.
Yeah, he had like a pre-release version or something like that, just to say, hey, test this out for me and stuff. And then he just didn't stop. I love the fact that, especially when you're at 1440p, I mean, like Descent 1, Descent 2, what does the cockpit do? it stretches and makes it goofy.
Yeah.
Not
It
in
stretches, makes it
D3.
goofy, and blocks out a lot. Because when you're in widescreen format in particular, when you've got the cockpit, like you lose so much. Like you lose a fair bit of screen real estate in 4x3 anyways. But when you put that into widescreen, like you just see this band, right? And then it's so, and even then the field of vision is really narrow.
Yeah.
You put that in D3 where you've got the much more open cockpit, and then you can scale the field of vision up to a full 90 or 110 or whatever it is that he's bumped it to. And yeah, it feels, again, it feels right. You can see what you're supposed to be able to see. And it does, and it's much more playable. The mouse stack is the single biggest improvement. If nothing else was fixed and he got the mouse response working right, that would have been by itself enough to get a lot more people playing.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like you couldn't track pixel to pixel, just due to like mice back in the day just were not able to track at the same DPI or refresh rate that they are these days. So the engine wasn't built to handle it. Now it can actually handle that amount of input and do something logical with it. So he made it flyable again with a mouse. He made it easy to see what was going on. He made it work with modern graphics. He made the audio stack not glitch out the same respect that it used to. Got Doppler audio and a bunch of other things working. Completely revamped a lot of the stuff on the network stack as well, where now we're sending out packets at a much higher refresh rate. He built a tracker.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
We can actually find games now.
Yeah. No, I believe it was Terminal. Also worked with a little bit.
That's right. Terminal put up a new one. Yeah.
Yeah, he put up a new tracker, and if I remember right, Puddles is hosting that as well.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Again, these guys, they don't stop. They're like, hey, let's improve this stuff. As a matter of fact, I was just talking with Puddles just the other day, and he's still trying to improve things on tracker stuff for D1, D2, and stuff like that.
That's right, because he runs the retro tracker as well off the same off the same server, right? So have you ever been trying to do a classic D1 or T2, came in either retro, Redux, or Rebirth? What's the
Rebirth?
What's the third one?
There's Rebirth.
All of them, I think, are able to use that tracker.
Yeah,
most of them do.
Raytracer can as well, I believe now. Him and Arn got that fixed, because I do know there was an issue with that before. But yeah, especially the network connections and stuff like that. I also got ShenaniCast ported over there, so that way folks can see when games go live.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the what's it called? D3 multiplayer looking for fun. You'll see a whole spam of ShenaniCast. It shows the map, the IP address, the game type.
Oh, you're talking about the Discord server. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's been nice as well to see when a game goes live to get pinged like we do with the Overload tracker.
Yeah. ShenaniCast discuss on another topic another day. Long development cycle of that one. That one's that one's like a fun one to talk about and stuff like that.
For sure.
But
I'd love to hear your guys' process on that. I only came into that later on, and I'm not really involved in the code. I'd love to hear that story sometime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a fun project to work with and everything, because just a small little cliff note version, I guess you could say, of it. But Stinger, a buddy of mine from high school, him and I were running two servers out of our homes. Mine was Overloader, his was the Stinger. Well, he was making a version of ShenaniCast called Jarvis to just do basic controls so that way he didn't have to go all the way across the house to do anything with the server. He could just do a command off Discord and call it good. Well, the original code base of ShenaniCast was actually based off his code.
Okay, so it's kind of cobbled in from another. Yeah. Cool.
And then he really didn't do anything with it, and then I just took it from there, and I added features to it, and then over time, the it went from just me having one overloader in my house to now we have an entire network,
Right.
hosted by myself and Puddles, and then from version 1 through version 4, I was having to copy the ShenaniCore instances to each server. So for version 5...
Right, so then Puddles got involved with trying to get the distribution and that up and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got Puddles involved because I'm like, I'm trying to learn this as best as I could. I am a newbie at Python, so I would love some input, some guidance and stuff. I
think that's about when I stepped in and kind of saw what was going on.
Yeah, Laponics especially with the game monitor side of things. Huge shout out to him. He worked and completely revamped that code, so how it's set up, and then I built up on that. Puddles and I got together, worked on version 5, and then I added features for version 6 all the way up to now. We're at version 8.4, I believe. 8.3, which it's a big behemoth on stuff they can do now, but just a little
8.5.
Am I at 8.5 now?
8.52 is the last one.
8.52. Oh, okay, I couldn't. It's been a bit. I couldn't remember.
Well, I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to dig a little bit deeper into some of that on maybe
maybe on the next one we'll do a deeper dive on that, like our thinking. I don't know if I can get Stinger in on this. I'll talk to him. I'll see if he's got time, because I can't remember what days he works, but I might be able to pull him in onto Discord and us three can chat and everything. That'd be fun.
Sweet.
But
anything else on the D3 front we want to try to go through? I just wanted to do a quick shout out, I guess, to the main open source project.
Yeah, definitely.
When the code originally went live, like we spend most of our time, I guess I spend most of my time plus in the Piccu side of things, just because that's the one that has a lot of these quality of life improvements, like the field of vision stuff and the improved mouse code. But there's definitely still a big active community that was really putting a lot of patches. It was an insane number of patches into the main D3 version 1.5 code base as well. When the code got released, there's a big community effort to try to get that modernized, try to get things compiling, move it over to 64-bit, like a whole bunch of stuff. So that's diverged a bit from the Piccu side of things, but there's still, kudos to everybody that's putting work in on that project right there. Because it's that's able to keep this kind of interest going in the community. And if for single player stuff, I know that's the way a lot of people go, is to just get the actual official 1.5 builds. Official.
Yeah, and there's also somebody that was trying to make it playable, make it better for Linux players as well.
Yep.
There was somebody that was trying to make it better for Linux players as well. So it's really cool to see where the original devs, whether it's Overload, Descent 3, and stuff, the original, the community just says, hey, we want to continue supporting this and making it better for future players to come.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Even when the community has been fairly quiet, like the Descent 3 community had been quiet for so long because there wasn't any activity in the multiplayer. There's very little activity in the single player. As soon as the code dropped, just hundreds and hundreds of people all just popped out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it was wild to see.
Huge excitement over it. There were so many people just
out of nowhere.
Like, this thing, yeah.
Like, wait, we could do this. We could do this. We could do this.
Yeah,
it was really wild to see.
It took a while to get the project management going on that, from what I understand. But yeah, I'm excited to just kind of see where that goes. We haven't had any new versions released in a while, at least on the Piccu side. But I know Salad Badger's been tinkering away with many things on many fronts.
Yeah,
so I'm sure we'll see his work with the SDL code on that come through, and hopefully a little bit more on the Linux quality of life stuff, like you were saying.
Yeah, he was trying to go to SDL 2.
Yeah, currently the code was like, it I don't know enough specifics on it, but he was moving it to the SDL code for, I think, things like window management and the controller code so that it was a little bit more portable. That way he could start getting Linux versions going forward as well.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's working. He wasn't quite done with it, and then some other stuff came up.
I think
he hasn't released that yet, but
yeah, if I remember right, he was working on that, and then he got diverged over to working with getting a ship model for Inferno. And also getting the 3D deal for going for Raytracer. And so yeah, Solid Badger, just everybody involved with these projects, it's just been phenomenal to see. And especially on the multiplayer side of D3, there are several servers that are going. Terminal has several servers going. He's got this. He's got these scripts going to where it cycles through the different bags of stuff of different.
Yeah, which is not how D3 multiplayer normally would work. Normally, it's on a map by map basis, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got all that going, and then of course the D3 events that's been popping off for a while.
Mm-hmm. So Andrew of Doom, a community member over on the D3 side, started hosting a while back these things he calls the Smash Parties, which have typically been on the weekends. I'm looking for one of the older events right now. Let me see if I can grab one of them just to see what number we're currently at here.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, the invites are expired. I don't have the current numbers. Oh well, it's in here somewhere. Regardless, we're up well into the high double digits at this point in terms of how many we've been running. He's always got a different theme for it. We'll do CTF, we'll do Horde mode. We tried some Entropy at one point when we had enough players to pull it off. Good old Anarchy, Team Anarchy, Monster Ball, like all the classic modes, plus a couple of the modded modes that go along with it. And it's been really neat to kind of see that kick off. We had a lot more at the start. The last couple have been a little on the shallow side in terms of player count, but people are still around. It's just Christmas holidays. People are getting busy with that. So hopefully we'll see a good turnout on the next couple. It's been good to kind of get back and play those maps. I know sometimes I end up getting a little bit, I don't want to use the word ragey, but I'll get a little frustrated sometimes playing too many of them. I say I have kind of a tolerance for how often I can kind of get steamrolled.
Yeah.
Or when certain players are in the game, that's just the experience is basically spawn in and get steamrolled over and over again. It's like, well, I'm not going to fault them for that because they're just that much better than me. But I can only take that for so long before I start getting all snooty, and I don't want to get all snooty. It's not like I don't like being that.
Yeah, we both have definitely shared our fair share of going between not only Descent 3 but also Overload Team League and stuff like that, because me and him are on the same team league, so we.
Yeah, that's right. What was that? Was that been 8 seasons now, something like that?
Close to it.
7 or 8 seasons.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, D-Max, jump over. Okay.
Like, all right.
That's been history.
I'm right here. Let's do this. And especially folks like Roncli and stuff, they definitely get a kick out of just watching you and I just go in and fly. So many clips of us just acting like complete idiots.
Well, we both fly for fun, like and I think that's where we can. I mean, we can dig into that maybe now, maybe another time. But I like the philosophy that we kind of approach the league with. Isn't necessarily the same philosophy everybody else does. But where did we even get the nickname Spinning Idiots? That's that's been around for ages.
I think that was.
Did we do that? Who came up with that?
I think it was Ron.
It must have been Ron. Yeah, it
sounds right. Because both you and I would spin when we're dogfighting and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we're flippers.
Mismic, I think it was Mismic that came up with the spin to win. He was popping off saying spin to win and everything, and then you and I got to flopping around, and I recall seeing a clip at Roncli saying, "All right, come here, you spinning idiot." And it was me.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
And
the rest was history.
So, and I'm pretty sure they're like, all right, these two jackwagons fly the same way. So here we go. And when you and I get into fights ourselves,
That is the one disadvantage to being on the same team is you don't get to do those very often. Every time we do get that opportunity, it's like, all right, it's these fights. Oh man, I'm rusty at this style flying now.
Yeah.
Flies like that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes, it is.
When it comes to the league itself, yeah, if we're kind of dodging into overload territory here, like we finally got the latest patch out, 0.5.14.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the last one on the 0.5 patch. I have some plans in mind for 0.6. I just haven't gotten around to getting any code for it. Running it because, I did a major network code revamp, just in terms of like how things are getting synced up and like where things are happening in the physics code. I poured over everything in the tree to try to figure out exactly how things are flowing and where pieces of data might be getting missed or whatever else. Because there's been, I mean, people like to complain.
Yeah.
I like to complain about it. Like, I don't know, like is a strong word, but
Novas.
you know, there's many things where, like, yeah, exactly. Nova inconsistencies. There's a like that didn't hit me because on my screen it missed me by a half ship, and it's like, oh no, there's just a buffer. That's why. Because we are further back on the server than what we're actually seeing, right? Things like that where you didn't know it was there till you go over it. I tried to get as much of that patched up for 0.5.14 as we could. The roll speed.
Yep.
I don't think people realize it's funny how much of a difference that kind of made to the control feel of kind of unlocking the lag. Your little thing where you didn't even know there was a roll speed mod. You're running at neutral the whole time.
Yeah, I've been flying. I've got over 1,500 games now, over 1,600 now, and over 2,000 hours into the game. And this entire time up until 4, 5, 6 months ago, I didn't realize that there was I knew the option was there, but I misunderstood it. I misread it. I thought it was for joysticks only. I didn't realize my keyboard could also do that.
But it also affected the keyboard, yeah.
And the fix on that was there was a bug in the controls to where if you just move your mouse, if you have it increased by a factor of 1, 2, 3, 4, if you just moved your mouse just every little bit, it will reset it back to 0.
Yeah, the modifier would reset back to 0 as long as the mouse is moving, and everybody was so used to it, nobody had really picked up on it.
Yeah.
But everybody was feeling this thing that I've dubbed slog, and other people had different names for whatever else. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's not the only piece that was contributing, but getting that fixed really did help a lot with that.
Yeah.
It also made everything a little bit too fast, in my opinion, when it comes to
especially when you get into the higher ones. I think I've got mine capped at
plus 4
2.
is way too high.
Yeah. Lupo, I think,
runs at plus 2?
I think so. I'm either plus 1 or plus 2 now. But I think it didn't affect me as much because my modifiers, I run extra rotate and damage reduce. I think it is.
Yeah, you're used to the higher speed anyways with that.
So,
and
but whenever we
running
tacked that
an analog roll scheme, right? Yeah.
And like, whoa.
Yep. I remember seeing that the first time. I'm just going like, oh boy, this is going to change things.
You're like,
hopefully not too badly.
You're like, what have I done?
Yeah. Well, it needed fixing. I mean, that's the thing about bugs. Like, Ron and I were having a talk about this at one point. It's like, yeah, maybe there's a balanced discussion to be had there, but the main priority is we fix bugs.
Yep.
Right.
We fix bugs. We balance it out later.
Yep.
And
fix bugs first, figure the balance out later. Exactly. Yeah. And I know that came up in like there was some things with the D1 Homer code that were the same.
Yeah,
thing back where it's just like this is the behavior. Well, that wasn't the original behavior. Let's not get into that that old can of worms right now. That was a big one, but
yeah.
In terms of the league, it's been interesting this season seeing. I mean, we've had some new faces pop up.
Yeah,
we had a whole Australian team, or I guess Australia-New Zealand team.
Yeah,
kind of come together.
We haven't been able to fly them yet, but
yeah. Because the weekends are the only time that lines up, and it's hard to get us all on the same page, right?
Yeah, because my work schedule, I'm work Wednesday through Saturday, and when folks are trying to fly during those times, like NVIDIA was pinging us, hey, look, honorary cat.
She's
We've
either here or in front of me,
Yep.
sitting on my keyboard. So
And it's like one of those times, like a video was just pinging us wanting to fly on, I think it was either Thursday or Friday. Well, during that time, I'll be at work.
Yep.
So it's been a struggle for us to find teams that the main one that's been flying us is the Boys, or TB.
Yes.
They've been the main one that's been flying us constantly, and some of the previous D3 players like Behemoth, he's into it.
Yeah, they currently have Zergling, Sly Solid, and Behemoth are their main flyers right now. They have some other ones as well, but Behemoth has really been coming into his own in Overload over the last season.
Yeah,
it is a shift from D3. He's gotten very good. He's a big threat, but he's been really thirsty for games.
Yeah,
which has been cool to see. I know there's again some philosophical stuff there where I know like we much prefer to fly in threes, but lining up threes is impossible, and twos start to get stale after a while when it comes to that. But
yeah,
and there's the other thing is like there's been like several of the teams have sort of fallen off in terms of the game count, or they can't get the pilots out for things, or the team's gone on hiatus, or SG folded, where we got Birdseye last season when after that point. But
Ryu
some dynamic changes.
/ Raptor, he joined us as well. 3Q folded, so we've got Roncli.
Yep.
It's been
a long time since the last episode. Sorry, I'm thinking it's like that was a year and a half ago.
Yeah. First episode was 3. Yeah, lots have changed over the course of the past 3 years and stuff. Teams have come and gone.
Tex.
Do what?
Tex.
Yep. So it's
the reformation and then dissolving of the
the
spiritual successor to DC.
Yeah.
Which luckily some of those players did end up back on other teams again, which was nice.
Yeah, Warp and Bits are on OMG, I believe.
Yep, they went back to OMG.
Yeah, Bits would. Well, what the hilarious part is on that, I think I mentioned this in the original video, again 3 years ago. Bits, Warp 10, Joshua, myself, and them are on Dynacore, but Warp and Joshua, if I remember right, were originally on OMG. Well, they split off to form Dynacore.
Right.
But
and now they ended up back on.
And now Joshua is on PTMC, and Warp 10 is back on OMG. Blown to Bits is on OMG, but I rarely see them play. Bits mainly focuses on VR games. He's got hundreds of thousands of hours in VR at this point, I believe.
It's a lot. Last count had me seriously raising my eyebrows as to how much time he'd spent.
Yeah, I love VR. I've got my VR headset. I've got an Oculus too, but it's been so long since I've flown.
I still need to come in and get some Overload time in VR at some point. I got to borrow my sister's headset. Speaking of VR, one of the other games you mentioned, Descent Raytracer.
I saw,
which was a lovely time playing co-op in there. Just so that if you haven't encountered this yet, it's basically a clone of Forsaken. Is that the other one?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Descent like. It's sixed off, but it's much more in the Forsaken style of things. It's a lot of fun regardless. It's there's a progression mechanic, and you get your weapons set up right and everything else.
So against rivals and stuff like that.
Yes, but they've just put in a experimental VR mode.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was Bits.
Very excited to see.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was Bits that flew. I was like, "What?" Oh, I'm trying this at
gotta
some
borrow
point.
a headset and get that set up. Yeah.
Yep. I need to reset up my Oculus back on my computer, but I definitely want to play that. The last time I actually spent a whole bunch of time in my VR headset was whenever I did a playthrough of the Joshua campaign for Overload, Dynacore.
Yes.
The Dynacore story. I sat down even Bits was telling me he has no idea how I did it because he can't. But I sat down and played through the whole campaign in one setting. The only time I got up was to go to the bathroom and get a drink. And it was a lot of fun.
Some commitment.
It was a lot of fun. It's something I've always wanted to do. But just being able to fly in Descent in a VR setting and stuff, which they did have VR for Descent back in the 90s, but there's a big asterisk for that.
red and blue glasses thing.
Yeah.
Or they have the mode where you like put a card down the middle of the screen too.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I don't.
never played with that. I
Tech
remember they
Tips
had
did
the
a
modes.
video on that just recently.
They would do that.
But yeah, he was checking out 90s videos and stuff like that. 90s VR games and stuff, and Descent popped up. So yeah, go check out that video at some point if you haven't seen it. But yeah, it was definitely fun to see. But it's been fun to see all these projects and everything come about.
Indeed.
What Fireball and I were talking about, just trying to come up with a way to get ShenaniCast going and keep it going without going stale after an episode for 3 years. But we came up like going in, playing these games sometimes, like our Descent 2. Whenever we finish that, we can discuss that. But if there's other stuff we want to discuss, we can put those in other videos. Just Sixed Off in general was
Yes.
Is a good way. And maybe we can get some random folks to pop in every once in a while. Like we had Tobias.
I can think of a few guests we can grab.
Yeah.
We need to rope him into collaborating with us again. That guy's been sitting on his haunches for too long.
Tobias, you have been officially called out.
I believe the term we used before was what was it, slacker?
Yeah. No,
I'll get it back on.
He definitely has learned from the master. I may or may not be responsible for that.
Yeah. Well, one thing maybe we can do for future episodes as well is like once we've got some playthroughs of stuff going again, then we can maybe focus in on specific aspects of the game a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
I don't have any particular ideas in that mind, but yeah, once we start up D2, I'm sure some things will come up where we can dig a little bit deeper into specific things.
Yeah, the D1, I thought the overall experience on the D1 Raytracer co-op actually was pretty smooth.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
Absolutely.
know you had some issues where your computer was having some weird goof and hiccups and stuff causing spikes. But I didn't experience that on my end, but I do have higher hardware.
Yeah,
so
your
I don't
graphics card is
know.
beefier than mine is. I think mine was related partially to that and partially to the fact that I don't reboot on a regular schedule. So
Yeah,
it had been a while, and I'm sure things were getting wonky in the back because Windows is Windows.
Windows is Windows. Yeah.
Windows is Windows. Windows does not play well with not being allowed to sleep or not being allowed to reboot for very long.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Aside from that, like the gameplay was smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to getting into that with one of my fuzzballs is yelling at me. Looking forward to getting into that with D2, running into each other. I'm sure I'm gonna hit you with an Earthshaker.
Oh,
I'm sorry, it's gonna happen.
It's either you or me or both of us.
Yeah.
Because
how many times did I shoot you with a full charge fusion?
Well, there was that one clip where, hey, you want the invuln? Yeah, sure. I go in guns blazing. I'm shooting megas, and what does Fireball do? He goes in behind me. I don't know he's there. Shield. I turn around. I shoot a mega, and I kill him. And then there's the one laser bolt where I pop in. I shoot a laser.
Geez, yeah.
You go in front of the spawner, and I hit you and kill you. Yep. I'm like, oh no.
Yep.
Well, you will experience a lot, especially if folks tune into our live streams and stuff. We're on Twitch. Twitch, Descent Max 7930, Twitch, CC Fireball.
CC Fireball, yeah.
You
want to see some spinning idiot action? You will see some spinning idiot action. Emphasis on the idiot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of what we do.
Yeah.
We play for fun, not lethal efficiency. And we have fun.
It's lethal, but not efficient. But
it's not.
Well, depending on the day, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely been fun and everything. Excited to see what comes about this and everything. It's gonna be a fun time.
Absolutely, looking forward to continuing this.
Absolutely. You got any final thoughts before we close out for this episode?
Oh, I guess I was just thinking back on, saying how things are kind of warming up on one front and cooling down on the other. I think the most encouraging thing out of everything is just seeing that, like, every time something new pops up, people come out of the woodworks with sick stuff. So like you mentioned earlier, the community's still, even if it looks like the community's cooling down on certain fronts, all it takes is a poke in the right place and people come storming right back again. So I'm excited to see, as things are evolving and maybe certain chapters come to a close or certain chapters kind of open up, it's kind of cool to see it continue moving. And long live sick stuff.
You mentioned VR. You mentioned VR earlier. There is somebody in the Descent server, on one of the Descent server, that actually, I think he based it on Retro, but he is working
the D1, D2 code?
Yeah, he's actually working on VR support for it. He actually has it somewhat working. And I haven't tried it yet.
That'll be a wild ride.
But I was like, you're messing with that? That'd be cool. A small bit here. It would be cool to see that in Raytracer. With the 3D
My
cockpit.
card would not handle that.
Yeah.
Yours might.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. but without... we had to drop our games to 1080p just to get 100 FPS for the most part. Or close to it. And I think you ran with AMD FSR. I
had to run it with FSR too. I think you were running native. I probably could have turned it off after scaling down, but at that point I just wanted to
we were just there to dork around.
And it still looked great.
Yeah, we were just there dorking.
It wasn't pixel accurate anymore, but it was definitely it looked perfectly playable.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll have links to Raytracer for the original project and the fork that Arn has and for D1 and D2 and stuff like that, and the video description as well.
Yeah,
but
maybe a Piccu link as well. Maybe the GitHub link to the Salabadger Piccu port stuff. If anyone's interested in jumping in there, we'd love more multiplayer participants on D3 nights.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll add that as well. But yeah, definitely glad to see this actually kick off again. Hopefully continue and not be another 3 years before we release another episode.
I'll have to hold you to that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're both that busy with other stuff.
Yeah. Well, the cool news is I do have more available time now than I did 3 years ago. I'm no longer a manager working 6 days a week. I do have a daughter and stuff like that, but most of the time Sunday nights and stuff like that. Fireball and I'll discuss on when we can try and get close to a dedicated day-ish and stuff like that. We'll discuss that.
And timeline and stuff. Yeah, we'll nail that down and we'll get some news out on that front once we've got that all figured out.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's going to do it for us for tonight. A little over an hour. Figure that's about a good time for these episodes to go and stuff like that. But either way, happy to be back here. And Fireball, thanks for joining as always.
Absolutely.
Catch our streams on Twitch, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.